Alright, so today we're fixing a noise that I found in the front end of my 2000 M5 that sounded a lot like either like thrust arms or tie rods or something. I was getting a clunking noise. It sounded like hollow, sounded like the left side, wasn't really sure. And I heard it also when I was turning the steering wheel, like it would be like a pop or a sharp, like something suddenly jumping. After a while of driving around with, my friends in the car and having to listen to the noise, I didn't know what was more annoying, the actual sound or my friends trying to diagnose it for the entire car ride. So I decided to get under the try to fix it. So what I found was this. These are the drop links for the front stabilizer. As you can see, this is the picture of how it's assembled. Alright, and what was going on was these ball joints here, they get loose. If you can tell they're loose, they're already way too far gone. For the most part, if you move them around and twist on them, you really can't even tell they're loose, but they are. And the way I figured this out was I unhooked the sway bar links and zip tied the sway bar out of the way and took a drive, and it was completely quiet. So I was definitely happy that it was these, and not something more expensive that would require an alignment or such. These are some extra bolts that just came with my service guy. I wanted to make sure I had everything, but the way that they go is this. If this is oriented top, you're going to have the washer, which is like a slip resistant washer, and then a special bolt. It's called a self-locking collar nut. All right, and it's basically a hex with a movable washer on it. All right, it's together. It doesn't come apart. It's like looks like something NASA made. On the bottom, it's just a plain old regular hex washer. Alright, and that goes hex nut with flange right through there to the bottom. Up, there's your washer, and there's your special NASA Apollo 11 nut there. Alright, so that's what we're going to do today, and really simple, nothing to it. I'm not going to bore everybody with how to jack a car up, because if you don't know how to do that, then this video is not for you. Also, this is definitely not an official BMW video, if you can't tell, because I'm shooting it in my kitchen. So this is no information coming from them, and no warranties or liability or anything else. If you drop a car on your head, it is your problem. Alright, onward. Alright, some of the stuff you're going to need. You're going to need a wrench. A 16 or 5/8 will work. And this is actually to hold the, I don't know if you can see here, but there's a little nut here that has two rounded, or flat edges rather, so you can hold it steady, or else the ball joint will just spin. There's one also on this side as well. You want a skinny wrench, because it's, as you can see, this one's going to be a little tight itself. But it'll do the job. It took them off, so that should work. Regular ratchet. You got 16s. 16 or 5/8 really works. It fits very well on the nut. And I'm going to throw a little medium strength Loctite just for good measure. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut these zip ties out of the way. It's my very scientific means for determining where the noise was coming from. Get the one on this side. And now they're free, and you can see the bar is free to move. It's also a good idea to lube inside there, just to keep it real quiet. Also put your key in ignition position too, so you can move the steering wheel around if you need to do that, just to get everything to match up. Again, the lower half is going in there with the regular nut, and the fancy one's going up top, right in there. You can see the hole in the opening. Alright, here's what they look like installed. Real super easy. Nothing to it. And again, on the top one is the only one you really have to pay attention to. You've got that collared lock washer, self-locking washer on the outside. The little washer will go after the aluminum mounting piece, and then that's about it. Down here, you've really got nothing. You've just got the plain old washer that'll pull it tight, and that'll be fine. Same exact thing on the other side. Probably can't see it from here. Oh, maybe, yeah, it's the only clean piece under there. So, yeah, that's that. We'll go tighten this thing down. So here's a good way to get to the top one without taking the wheels off. We just turn the wheel out like that, and you can really see why when you turn the wheel it can make a noise, because you're asking it to do a lot of things. See, I mean, you move it and it's twisting the you know, the lower ball joints and uppers to their pretty much limits of articulation. So if you hear a noise while steering, especially low speed, when the most stress is on these bars, that's probably it. So I'll tighten the one up top the same as I did on the bottom, and I'm going to need 2 hands for that. So that's really it, how to change drop links with just a few simple hand tools in about 15 minutes. And see if I can get a shot of them in motion. Alright, about time to let her down. Alright, so we'll go for a quick ride, make sure I fixed everything. Make sure, okay, gate's opening. And first of all, we'll test the steering, make sure there's no noises. Nothing. It's quiet as a lamb, and that's great. Okay, gate's open. Let's go for a ride. Going out my driveway usually made quite a noise, so the uneven surface, so we'll see what it does now. Nothing. So no noise while steering. Most definitely was the fix here. Now usually this sound came from low speed bumps or pretty much everything we're doing right now. I mean, I haven't driven this car without the radio on since I've got it because it was so annoying. But here's a real nasty bump that the city just won't fix because they're too busy, I suppose. But nothing. No noise whatsoever. Well, I'd call that fixed. That's a good test. Very good. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope somebody learned something from this, but probably not. Anyways, put the video up for M5 board just in case anybody had any questions of where the sound is coming from. It's a cheap fix. Costs about $100 at BMW for their parts, and that's that. Alright, I'm going home.